I'm just a formerly fat, sick guy who really took the time to find out exactly why most of us can't get lean and healthy. I was addicted to unhealthy foods. Pizza and beer were my favorites almost every night. I would buy every new flavor of snack food, and I just had to open each bag on the way home in the car. So if people like me can easily do this, anyone can. The first step is to understand, wait, why am I fat? Essentially, at the source, why are we all so fat? Why is it so impossible to get slim? There's 1,000 books in the library. They all promise a solution. There's 1 billion fitness programs. They all say this works. They have fitness models. They're all in great shape. It's not working. Why doesn't it work? What is the source? What is the true, real, hidden cause of why we're so fat? Once we discover that, we have a solution. Okay, we now know the problem, and now we're going to destroy the problem. It's not going to exist anymore, and we're going to get slim and leave this behind. To solve the obesity and related chronic disease problems, we first need to discover and identify the real underlying cause of those problems. And we, the public, are not told what that is. Instead, we're kept in states of absolute confusion and failure. We're led to believe we're fat because of bad genetics, low willpower, fast food, we're lazy, etc. But the reality is, it's none of those things. The fact is, we've been lied to, and most of us are simply unaware. So what is the cause? In a word, money. A few dozen enormous multinational companies in the agricultural, food, medical, pharmaceutical, and even in the diet and fitness industries absolutely require that we stay as fat and sick as possible. Otherwise, they'll have fewer customers and they'll make much less money. So these companies, their industries, and their lobbies have influenced and corrupted our government's food recommendations. They also highly influence and sponsor our doctors, dietitians, schools, media, and other institutions we trust for dietary advice. So we follow this bad advice and we eat this food, afflicting us with terrible health problems that definitely do not need to exist. And that, precisely, is why we're so fat and riddled with chronic disease. I can promise you, if you read all the documented research, this will be your inescapable conclusion. Let's talk about the media for a second. They're paid billions of dollars in advertising from the industries that created this problem. So you won't hear this on the nightly news. I highly doubt Dr. Sanjay Gupta on CNN is suddenly going to tell you the truth about food and your health in between Cheerios commercials paid for by General Mills. So from birth to death, we are literally being harvested by these industries for as much of our money as possible. And all the food and information that's supposed to help us is the actual problem. When I tell people about this for the first time, sometimes they react with disbelief. Why would our own government do that to us? That doesn't make any sense. Well, here's why. Promote domestic agriculture, create and preserve jobs, maintain and expand the tax base, individually or collectively appease organizations with lots of money, ensuring a more successful political career. That's all. It's just money. They get all those things and you get ill health. We pay an immense price for taste, low cost, and convenience where modern food is concerned. Obesity, chronic ill health, premature death, animal cruelty, pollution, 20% of the world's greenhouse gases, 80% of the world's fresh water, low value, our tax money to food companies, and new systemic diseases. Once we're fat, in desperation, we pay again. Gyms, exercise gadgets, weight loss clinics. The diet and fitness industry is close to $60 billion a year. But we've never been fatter or more riddled with chronic disease, ever. That's an abject statistical failure. So what's left? You've got pharmaceuticals, drugs, and surgery. More money, more pain for us, but no real solution. This is so insidious because people blame themselves. But you have to understand, we're not doing this to ourselves. This is being done to us. These health problems seem so inescapable to most of us because the food and the solutions we're given don't allow an escape. Our entire environment ensures failure because it was designed by the same guys who created the problem in the first place. Just take a look around. Our problems are beyond epidemic. Obese children, people on scooters unable to walk, diabetes, heart disease, all skyrocketing. As a society, we deliberately, and at immense cost to ourselves, our environment, and our fellow living things on the planet, we create and eat food that makes us sick and kills us. We can't afford the healthcare costs now, and it's going to get much worse. This excerpt is by author Ronald Wright from his book, A Short History of Progress. So what is the solution? Well, if our rather arcane human evolutionary diet has been identified as a simple, effective answer, why isn't it mainstream? Well, the healthiest diet in the world will do us no good if most people cannot or will not follow it. And the eco diet solves that problem. But this isn't about willpower or denial. And it can't be about eating exclusive or expensive foods either. That's not practical. Any permanent solution has to fit elegantly into people's lives.
Stipulations for this diet include the following. It can't be restrictive in terms of the quantity eaten. You've got to be able to eat as much as you want. It can't be restrictive in terms of macronutrients. You've got to be able to eat carbs, proteins, and fats. It's got to be simple enough to apply anywhere, anytime. It can't be stigmatizing or effortful or perceived as work. It absolutely has to achieve results, and it's got to be permanent.
Fat loss is just one of the results of this philosophy. This is sort of like being cured of the flu and suddenly feeling fantastic because you never knew you were sick in the first place. So for me and thousands of others, vision improves. Irritable bowel syndrome, gone. Skin cleared up. Increased libido. Improved concentration. No more mood swings. Sleep better. Greatly reduced inflammation, and on and on and on. Other far more serious disease symptoms have been shown to decrease or disappear altogether. What we have come to know as our food is not what humans are biologically meant to eat. Approximately 70% of the calories we consume are not our healthy natural food. This diet simply involves eating primarily our healthy evolutionary foods. This is the most logical, rational place to start. Have you noticed that some of the most popular television shows on weight loss involve a bunch of really buff personal trainers, basically torturing fat people? They use shame, emotional gladiatorial combat, public weigh-ins. And if you notice, the ones who actually lose some weight on these shows get there by harsh denial, brutal hard work, and discipline. And these messages are drilled into their heads, and ours, over and over again. The Center for Disease Control proved in their exhaustive study on obesity and diabetes that these methods do not work. You want some real irony? Take a look at the sponsors for these shows. International fast food chain and various well-known processed food brands. Watching these shows when you know the real cause of the problem is infuriating. Once the diet problem is stopped at its source, we apply a philosophy that ensures you will love moving your body. This will be fun. Remember fun? What happened to that? For most of us, fun is not time on a treadmill or a stair machine. Remember as a little kid, recess, we loved to move. We were punished for moving too much. But now we've managed to somehow turn movement into punishment. That's ludicrous. How the hell did that happen? Once again, you need to forget all the nonsense equating exercise with discipline, hard work, and pain.
Everyone loves exercise. I'll prove it. Just imagine if you were unable to do even one of these activities. See, told you. If you don't recognize any of these activities as exercise, that itself is the problem.
Let me pose a question. What are the fastest, strongest, physical badasses on the planet doing? I mean fighters, football players, Olympic athletes, men and women. What methods did they use to attain their elite physical ability? How do they train to get that way? I got a crazy idea. Let's do that. If you apply the same methods and principles, you will build functional muscle at the fastest rate possible. This involves workouts of an hour or less, a few times a week. Now, the really interesting part here, what most people don't realize, is that the actual intense efforts, the actual time under tension, will only take about 15 minutes per week or less. The majority of the time working out will be used either to warm up or to enhance recuperation.
We have elite models who weigh 110 pounds, grandmothers, kids, middle-aged people like me, older folks, and everyone in between. We're all doing high-intensity neuromuscular compound movements like deadlifts, pushing prowlers, squats, Olympic lifts, and all kinds of other highly effective methods and progressions. We're doing this because it works. It's also more exhilarating and fun than typical gym workouts. It works amazingly well for us the same way that it works for the great athletes who use these principles. For beginners, we simply scale back the volumes and the intensities.
I used to practically live at the gym. 2 workouts a day, bodybuilding, then cardio. I wanted to look like those jacked guys in the fitness magazines who got all the girls. Do your cardio, it's the only way, no pain, no gain. Absolute nonsense. Who can do that perpetually, even if it worked? It's misery. Life is about eating, shopping, dancing, music, passion, enjoying yourself, doing something of value outside the gym. So getting into great shape is supposed to enhance those things, not to prevent us from doing them by consuming all of our time. This philosophy minimizes your time building muscle by making it hyper-productive. And it doesn't require that you be at the gym.
So why do we want to practice strength training? Well, it's the fastest method to build new muscle, and muscle burns fat. Causes the biggest increase in resting metabolic rate for the highest fat burn following the workout. Builds the most speed, builds the most physical strength. It's the best method to strengthen bones. It's the best method to build powers of thought and concentration. Best method for transfer of the effects to sports, work, and life. Best way to strengthen the body for prevention of physical injury. It allows the practitioner to control both muscle size and strength. It's the most efficient method. Given the intensity level, it takes the least amount of time. Finally, it's used resoundingly by the world's most elite athletes.
These ideas on food, exercise, and building muscle are different. They're not ostensibly what we're generally told to do. When they're applied together, they reinforce each other. So it's a symbiotic, unified system that creates maximal fat loss and health. This unified plan involves a proven version of our naturally effective evolutionary diet, but one that we can and will follow easily, anywhere, and permanently. You also have to forget most of what you've been told about exercise. With this simple philosophy, you will quickly love moving your body again. Finally, we're going to build muscle like an elite athlete does. No matter what your age or gender, nothing works as well to create attractive, functional muscle in the shortest time. Our tragic obesity and health problems are caused by likely the greatest, most ubiquitous fraud ever perpetrated on the public. They're almost entirely avoidable. I submit that the agro-industrial or modern food perpetrators of these problems are causing exponentially greater disease and suffering than smoking. Statistics will prove this. Exceptional health, fitness, and physical beauty are not about denial or suffering. They are about evolutionary biology, economics, behavioral psychology, and joy. I want the minimum amount of time and effort for the best possible results. I also want these things I do to fit harmoniously into my life. If the benefits highly outweigh the costs, we continue. That's why this works permanently. It elegantly fits your life and your natural behaviors, not the other way around. When people are enlightened to these ideas, I often joke that I never need to wish them good luck, because it isn't needed. And that's because the real solution is, in effect, a cure. I wrote this book to provide a permanent solution that will work for anyone. My name is Sean Kelly, and I encourage you to visit our website, eco-diet.com. I'm 47 years old. When I was 26 and roughly 50 pounds heavier, nothing worked, no matter how hard I tried. When I discovered the truth, the solution worked immediately. So I was shocked. That's it? You're kidding. Nope. Just do these simple things and get as lean and healthy as you like. And so I did, and the problems that plagued me for decades ended. I was fascinated, obviously, and I started to research exactly why the things I was doing worked so well. And I've been doing that for over 20 years now.
Who is Sean Kelly? He's a gym owner, a trainer, certified strength and conditioning specialist, a published author. He's also an accomplished raw powerlifter who has held over a dozen national and world records. His unique ideas and experience involved adapting advanced strength methodologies for fat loss and the goals of the general public. He also specializes in the practice of successfully following an evolutionary diet in contemporary society. He applies all of the unique ideas in this book every day at his gym, Fortis Fitness, located in Toronto, Canada.